So awesome, lots going on right now. So, and then one more thing, Thanksgiving's coming up. Yeah.
Oh, will it be food tomorrow?
We'll just have like coffee and like something simple, not
Okay,
like.
just wanna know what
Yeah.
you're talking.
Eat before you come or feel free to bring something.
Glad I
So,
asked.
yeah. What was that?
Thanksgiving.
Oh, Thanksgiving. We do Thanksgiving. You all are invited. So some of the crew at Rebuild, sometimes their parents live out of state. They don't have anything to, sometimes they're here, sometimes they go home. For those that are here, we always host a big Thanksgiving. So, just a little plug out there, if there's maybe you don't really make many plans and you don't want to do a whole cook, you're welcome to come have Thanksgiving with us. So everybody's invited to do that. And it's gonna be awesome because it's gonna be our house with the space this year to really open up, and we want to have a full house. We always have like 3 turkeys going. We got Tiffany here this year. I'm so excited about that. She usually has to leave before Thanksgiving, so it's cool that she's here. We've got Jamie that's gonna cook for us. It's just gonna be awesome. So, if you have any Thanksgiving plans, you are invited to join us, bringing your loved one and all that kind of stuff. So, all right, cool. That's it. I'll hand it over. We need to finish letting these people on. I'm assuming those at home can hear fine from the room. Sherry Pennington, yes. Okay, fabulous. Thanks, guys. Now I'll hand it over to Arts.
Wow. So, if you're new, if you haven't been here, this is a very undescribable or weird like thing. We're trying to for a long time we called this a recovery program. That insinuated that we have people here that had something going and lost it and now are seeking it again. I don't know if that's true. This is more of a kind of a connection and development program. This is, people always ask, they come and then they're going to bring a kid here, they're going to put someone in the program and they say, what is the program? You know, this thing is like this. I just want you guys to know, I sit on this and watch this kind of, I wouldn't say monster that this is, but this is like this living organism. So what is the program? Well, it's this living organism that we kind of get to learn from. It's this teacher, and it teaches through this cultural timeout that is happening with folks. I'd like to say that our house is like this timeout, this timeout from culture, or this result of culture. And then we get to learn and we have to evolve and we have to like posture with this kind of monster that this is. And and we have to expand with it and grow with it and watch it and learn it. And it's the people in it. It's the people in the program. It's all of you. And before I get any further, I just want to mention that the bars are here tonight and all of you. And what they're doing tonight is they're suffering from a huge loss. And the loss of Mary's son. Is it Josh?
Yes.
And died suddenly, was it Friday? Thursday. And I just want to point out that they're here, like they've been in a battlefield family for a long time and they've been through a lot. And I just want to point out that they're here doing this kind of family thing together. And it was here that they chose to come tonight. So I want to tell you that that's an honor for us, that it's here that you chose to family together and come here. So what this thing is, and if it's this collection of families that have given us the honor of partaking with them in this kind of fragmented connection that people have had, or the severed connection that's happening between families. And they're giving us the honor of getting in here with them. And then the people come here. It's this thing that I get to observe it all, like the whole collective of it. I get to watch all of it. I get to watch each family. I get to watch how it all collects together and how it lives and breathes. And then what we have to do is I have to learn from it. Sometimes you're not learning from it. Sometimes you're digging in with it. At this point, just so you guys know, it's just a phase in this program where we've taken on youngsters and we've taken on younger people and watching them come in this cultural timeout that they're having and come here. It's just a time that I'm watching it now, and I have to I can't go do anything with it. I can't touch it. I can't mess with it. I got to let it kind of teach me. before I can mess with it. You know, we're a recovery program that doesn't, or a developmental program that doesn't have any, it's not rigid. It's expanding with this new culture. And it's watching. About 6 months ago, I told everyone, I said, you know what fentanyl is going to do? It's going to change the game. And I said, eventually, we're going to be very happy that fentanyl, you're not happy because there's lost a lot of people, but it's going to do remarkable things and it's going to change the game. And I told everybody about 6 to 8 months ago, I said, what's going to happen is we're going to get a new phase of kids that is involved in weed and Xanax and these other drugs and these designer drugs. And they're all going to switch to that and they're going to come here. And now, lo and behold, this is what's happening. They're coming in. So if you watch culture and you watch the program, you can actually predict what's going to happen next. We know who will be here next. We can watch and see it. And then it's this thing, families bringing people, and there's this, what we do, the work, is this cultural divide, or this divide that's been created through parents and children and families and children. It's this, or young people. And it's this divide that we get to kind of barter and kind of like negotiate a new connection. And they come here with this severed connection, and we're negotiating this new connection. So I get to watch this, and what I get to do on both sides is I get to look at both the parents and the kids, and it's like this thing where we're like, hey, take a look from another perspective. Maybe join into their shoes, and you look into their shoes, and it's this thing where we're kind of getting an agreement, but kind of teaching people how to family again. You know, that's the thing. How do you family in this new culture? How do you connect in this new culture? What I've been watching and what I've been learning from it lately is that there's a reason why we're disconnected. And the disconnect comes with, I watch people progress and I watch people be stuck. Do you know what happens when a person gets stuck? What happens when a person gets stuck is their concerns stay the same. So when someone gets stuck in life, and you bring me a youngster, you bring me something, what we're saying is they keep being concerned about the same thing. The concerns stay the same. So if you watch people and you watch people in this program, if they're not developing new concerns, they're not progressing. You see? So I have kids come in and they're concerned about girls and TikTok and their clothes and their hair. And then later on, they're concerned about credit and cars and things like that. And you see, so this connection divide goes through concerns. So my son, if we need to know each other again, and I always hated that term, meet people where they're at. I really hated that term. You got to meet someone where they're at. I'm always like, well, where they're at sucks. I don't want to go meet them there. And so, but that's what we're doing. We're meeting. What are your concerns right now in life? And there's the connection point, figuring out each other's concerns. And most of the parents, they want their kids to not be concerned with what they're concerned with, and they want them to be concerned with something bigger than they're concerned with. Sometimes my wife, I'm concerned with eating that bag of Doritos. You see? And then she says, don't be concerned with that, be concerned with your health. So she's nagging me, you see? And that's how it comes off with these kids, that we're nagging because we don't listen to their concerns, and they want us to hear their concerns and not be concerned with what we're concerned with. You see? But as the progression happens, what we get to do is I get to see a kid change his concerns. It's beautiful. And so we watch this thing where someone come in concerned with these little things, and then all of a sudden they're concerned with bigger things. And then someone comes years later, and Nico, who was on his phone now, is disappointing me. But Nico, who used to be concerned with raves and all that raves and stuff. But you know what he just told me? Like, he booked his tickets for New York and he just had his housewarming party. And what were you here 3 years ago?
Yeah, 4.
4 years ago, we were talking about different concerns, and now he's talking to me about mortgage rates. It's really remarkable to hear someone talking about mortgage rates that used to be like stuck, and that's what we all get stuck. We get stuck with these repetitive concerns, and we can't get out of those concerns, and we can't get over those concerns. You see? So how do we connect again? Well, we figure out what each other's concerns are. And there's the thing, we get frustrated with people because they're concerned with what they're concerned with. But if you ever try to tell someone to not be concerned about their concerns, it won't work, you see? And so there's what we're stuck with. I get the pleasure of being with Alana or Kate, these young girls, and then I get concerned with their concerns. So what'd that girl say? And I talk to Kate, who's over at college, and she calls me, and then she tells me, she's 19 and she's at Wazoo. And then she calls me and talks to me like I'm just some dude, you know? And I got to hear about sexual things and, parties and whatever she's doing. And I'm like, too much, but but that's the privilege. The privilege is when you can get in there and actually hear someone's concerns and be with their concerns, you see? And they actually share those with you. And I think that that's the divide. That's one of the things I want to talk about tonight is that's the divide in families is we're not interested in the same concerns. And some people are stuck. The other thing I've been thinking about lately is that my son is, my son is really a slave to his mind at this point. He's 7 months old and I'm trying to change him, but he's not listening too good, but he does what he does. You see what I mean? And his behavior is not really a choice for him. So last week we talked about boundaries and I told you they're all stupid and everyone got mad at me. And I like that, I like when I tell a group of people that boundaries are stupid and you shouldn't have them, and then they get mad.
That was like an hour and a half mob.
Yeah. They So this week I'd like to get you mad again, and I'd like to tell you that I'd like to talk to you about what I've learned about choice. My question then would be, at what point is my son's behavior his responsibility? When does that happen? At what point is my son's behavior a choice? And I want you to think about that. I want you to think about at what age did your behavior become a choice, if it did. And so I also want to kind of suggest that I'm not saying it's true. I'm suggesting that choice is what divides us. The choice is the heart of arrogance, and it's the heart of anger. You see, when you're angry at somebody, it's because they're choosing to behave a certain way and you don't like it. When you're happy with yourself, you're happy because you believed that you made the right choice. You see? So choice is this heart of arrogance, and it's the heart of our anger with people. We think that their behavior is their responsibility and they're choosing to do it. I just want to suggest that might not be true. I just want to suggest that maybe at no point does our behavior become our choice. Maybe. See, maybe at no point does our behavior become our choice. I see everybody selling change. I was going to talk about my friend Adam here today. He's 40. I've been friends with him for 41 years. And Adam just got here after 90 days in treatment and he's struggling with drugs. I wanted to tell everyone how proud I am of him. But what I'm saying is I can't teach Adam how to not do drugs. I can't teach Adam how to behave differently. You see? I can't tell him just choose to behave better. I can't tell him, 5,000 people go to the financial seminar and they say, save this amount of money and do this. And how many of those 5,000 people go away and do what they were told? And how many New Year's resolutions is there that fail? You see? And what is the behavior that you want to change in your life that you're maybe have been trying to change it for 20 years? You see? So maybe our hatred and our anger and our divide comes from the fact that we believe someone's choosing to do something when maybe that's not true. You see? Maybe it's the case that we do what our mind tells us to do our whole life. In my opinion, it's just the way I live. Humans do what occurs to them to do. You see? And what occurs to them to do comes from their mind. It comes from a sea of causation. So what they do is what occurs to them. See, now that ain't going to change the way I live, but it's going to change my anger and my compassion and my arrogance. You see? I'm very fortunate that I quit drugs. I'm very fortunate that it doesn't occur to me to do drugs anymore. You see, I'm very fortunate for that. But I can't. So if somebody says, well, Art, teach me how to do drugs, then I would say to you, teach me how to not eat pizza. So when it dawned on me, this thing about change, this thing about people's behavior, this thing about free will, whether it exists, the question of it, whether there's freedom in your behavior. See, why aren't you all choosing to be millionaires? I think it's a very dumb choice to not choose to be millionaires. So if you tell somebody to choose to behave better, why don't you? David Goggins, you know this guy? I think he's an asshole. A real asshole, because he gets up on stage and he tells everybody that they're a pussy for not running 100 miles, and they do that. Yeah, but what other areas of your life are you not perfect in? See, if you're so goddamn disciplined, then why don't you be a better husband? Why don't you be a better father? Why don't you have every area of your life fixed? See, if I can tell somebody how to change in this area, then why can't I change another area? So, see, for me, I struggle with food now. I do. I struggle with it. And when it dawned on me that I can't tell people how to change with food because I can't do it, I also can't tell people how to change with drugs. I can't. I don't know what stops you. I don't know what made it so it doesn't occur to you to do them anymore. And I don't know why Adam, after 40 years, it still occurs to him to go do crack. I don't know why. You see? But if I can get myself in a place where I can see that I don't know what age and I can't find the control room. See, I've been swimming around in here for a long time with these thoughts. And these thoughts kind of tell me what to do. And I can't find the control room to make them stop. I can't find the button. So maybe you found the button and you can teach me. And if you found the button and you can teach me how to behave better, and you found the button, then do it in every area. Be perfect. See? If it's a choice, our behavior is a choice, then never apologize for the rest of your life because you'll never have to because you're going to behave perfectly from here on out. See, I think this is a collision that we're involved in. I think we're involved in a collision of occurrences. Human beings doing this, what occurs to them and colliding. And I think to me, I haven't been able to find it. I haven't been able to shut off thought. You see, I think my choices come from my thoughts. I think I'm not thinking, and I don't know where my thoughts come from. And that maybe scares people. Because how do you get better? How do you be superior? See, there's people in the room who will say, no, we are choosing. There is a control. Well, show me it. That just throws out I just say all this to just say, look, where's the compassion for each other? How do we start understanding that each one of us, I see these kids, and I know you're here, and I know I don't want them to be mad at me, but these young kids, all of them, they're so judgmental. They don't know they're judgmental, but they're so judgmental. You know, to me, this my parents, by the way, when I was a kid, I looked at my hands, and my parents were a lot like my hands. I didn't choose them. See, I didn't choose my parents. They're like my hands, and I don't only got two, and I don't get any new ones. You see? So it'd be very odd of me to go to school and tell everybody that I hate my hands. You see? But it seems that there's another part of this monster that I'm taming. There's this new a way of being that if you hate your parents, you're part of a club. I think there's the hate your parents club, and these kids are all going to try to get in it, you know. So I'm talking about all this to tell you that at this point, he's doing what occurs to him. Yeah, he is. He is. You know, I get mad at the football game. I'm yelling at the TV. You know, the kicker goes out, that dipshit. Here comes the dipshit kicker. Okay? I want you to see that the kicker comes out, and we as human beings, he's coming out, and what happens in the instance when that kicker kicks the ball? When that kicker kicks the ball, I promise you what happens is his head says, now kick it. That's what happens. And sometimes he's fortunate enough to make it. And sometimes he misses. But in both instances, he does the exact same thing, and he didn't have a choice. You see? But we yell and get mad and call him stupid when he misses. And we cheer when he makes it. That's how ignorant we are as human beings. We think he chose to miss. He didn't want to miss. So our anger comes from a lack of compassion that behavior is a choice. No basketball player ever wants to miss the free throw. No football player ever wants to fumble the ball. No quarterback wants to throw an interception. Then why am I yelling at the TV calling that guy an asshole? I can't help it.
Interaction.
You see? And why is the coach yelling at the person who made a mistake? Do you think they wanted to jump off sides? So that's us. We're here. We're making mistakes. We're screwing up. We're behaving poorly. All of us. We're yelling at each other. We're losing control. We're colliding together. We're hating the other side that disagrees with us. Whatever side you're on, connection is at an all-time low. You just look at somebody and, oh, that's a mega hat. I'm done with them forever. Not going to even meet them. Oh, that's purple hair. Done with them forever. You see? Connection's at an all-time low. Where do we get it from? So for me, it's this honor. What is the program? It's just this. There is nothing to it. You need to learn from it. Be here, interact with it, watch it. It grows. It does what it does. It collides. We expand with it. Some people do weird shit and do that and do this, and we expand with it. And we take that person in and say, okay, that was a little weird. Don't do that again. It's this I like it as a monster, but it's more of a living organism. I just picture these two houses here in this place, and I just picture some days, and we posture with it. I don't know how to help it. There's times I meet these kids and I posture with them. I don't know how to help them. I don't know what to do. I don't have a program for them. It's posturing. It's like, I don't know. How do we help it? What do we do? We learn, we grow. Well, what are their concerns? Well, how do we figure out what the concerns are? And what are my concerns about their concerns? And we compassionate. We try to learn. We try to be with it. It's so hard to be with. But we're so used to what we want. Yeah, but you're this age. What about this? I've been really into this new thing about being indoctrinated by my parents. My parents thought my value was productivity. That's what they told me. That's what they taught me. Be productive, be productive, be productive. If you're not productive today, you're not valuable. Be productive, be productive, be productive. So now I have all this productivity guilt. If I take a day off and don't do anything, I just hear my dad and my mom like, what are you doing? Are you enjoying life? Stop it. Stop enjoying that money that's coming in. It's not, no, stop. You're not being productive. So I don't believe in it. As I went forward, I started seeing that it was harder and harder for me. See, I can't tell a kid how to quit drugs. I can't tell you how to make any change that you want to make. I'm sorry. You tell me what change you want to make, and I'll tell you what change I haven't made yet that I want to make. I want to be a better father. It's been 7 months. I'm already rating myself. I'm not that good. I'm low on the fucking scale. So then I wake up to try to hold on. It's like this. It's like holding on to the arms of a plane. I'm going to change the direction of this thing. I'm going to be a better father. Then I don't get it done. Something comes up. I spend an hour and a half with him. Ah, he's the worst. You know, I hear all these guys making jokes about stay-at-home mom is the hardest job, and then guys make jokes about it. You're an idiot. Like literally, there's almost anything I can do, but if you tell me I have to spend 8 hours with my son tomorrow, I can't get it done. He's a monster. It's his way or the highway. And I don't gel with that very good. He's like, this is what we're doing now, dude. I'm watching the game last night. I put him down with toys all around him. It's like, dude, how many toys can I buy you? And then he just jets right out and goes over to the electrical outlet. And he's slobbering right on the, It's like, dude, this is 7 months.
You've only just begun.
But think if I thought that he was choosing to do that. So at what point did you start thinking that your kid was choosing their behavior? I will tell you that the same time that you started getting angry with them. That's the time you begin to hold them accountable for their behavior. Well, fine. But guess what? They're doing what occurs to them. So that puts the onus on us. How do we make it occur differently for them? How do we do that? See, here at a program, that's our question. If people are doing what occurs to them, then how do we make it occur differently for them so that they have different options? It's on us. If it isn't on us, then it's on them. And if it's on them, then what are we here for? You see? So you let the monster do and grow, and then you posture with it, and then you see how you can get in there and make it occur differently. There's the program. I want to make it occur differently for you. This is the experience you're currently having. Let me help you have this one. And to do that, I need to understand concerns. To connect, we connect with people on our concerns. If you go out to lunch, you share your current concerns, they share theirs. If it don't match up, you don't go back to lunch. If it does, you connect it. And you say, hey, I want to have lunch again. That was fun. Because they understood your concerns and you understood theirs. You see, we connect on our concerns. I was trying to figure out how we connect. Everyone talked about connection. Well, it's this understanding that this is my world. This is what I'm thinking about all the time right now. What are you thinking about all the time? And we vibrate towards people that are thinking about the same shit as us. I see my cousins. They're all very concerned that Trump is going to end democracy. So they vibrate together. I'm not as concerned as them, but they want me to come to the family thing. I just don't vibrate over there because I don't want to go to either side's thing. You see, I'm not concerned with any of it. I had to bounce out. I was going nuts. I'm gonna have to start taking drugs again. What do you get? What do you kids got? Give me some of that. Debating myself all night about politics. The elections tonight. Tomorrow we're gonna wake up with a Seattle mayor. Yeah, there you go. Anyways, I just want to challenge this idea. You know, that's the thing, because you can't take it away from people, responsibility, even if you try. No. I'm going to choose soon to do a better life. And when I make it, that's how I'm going to tell everybody I made it, was my great choices. I don't know if that's true. You see, I don't know if change is a choice or change happens to people. You know, I can tell you that quitting drugs happened to me. Thank God it happened to me, but it happened to me. It occurred to me to use drugs every single day. And then my dad stepped in, put an end to it, stood right there and said, you can't do it anymore. Stopped occurring to me to do drugs. There you go. That's how it happened. He ended it.
He set the boundaries.
I don't know what you call it. Smart ass.
That's a silly issue.
That's good. That's good. You know? Well, if you're going to learn and grow, or do you want to be bounded? There it is. See? If I'm going to get bigger, I can't have boundaries. I got to go everywhere. I want people to get bigger and powerful. I don't want you to get smaller and protected. Power. Don't need that. You see? That's why I say this program expands to who's in it. Sometimes you got to expand. People require expansion. They're not ready for these boundaries. They're not ready to be held in these little containers. So then what are you going to do? Kick them out? Get rid of them? Throw them away? No, you're going to expand. You're going to grow with it. You're going to posture. Look at this person. How do they trust me? How do I get them to trust me? I need trust here. I got to help this person. You know, we get this great honor of getting down in the muck. You know, if you haven't donated to the bar's fundraiser, I know they haven't asked for it. I'm asking. They need help. Everyone needs help. They're a hardworking family that's got a lot of people in it, and they've had a tremendous loss. And I just say, go to Facebook and hit it up and give them $20 or something to help with the cost of everything. They're hurting. Everybody's seeing. I think it's remarkable that through everything that you guys have been through, and you should all kind of look at yourselves and go, yeah, but no matter what we say about each other, and no matter what we do with each other, no matter how we fight, here we are. And I think that's the thing. Some of these kids come and complain about their families. Listen, if that world's going to end tomorrow, you're going home to be with them. And you know you want to. And so here you guys are together. Yeah. This is the honor that we get to do. So, anyways, my new thing, it used to come and I would try to like teach or something. There's just different phases of this thing. And right now, in the business of what we're doing, it's a time to learn. And there's teachers all around. And for your family, I hope that that's what you're here for. This thing is a teacher. It's not for us to extinguish. It's not for us to necessarily get rid of. It's for us to grow together through this. Is to say, can we learn things with each other like compassion and forgiveness and understanding? And can we get on the other side of judgment? You see, I've learned that just on the other side of judgment is something else. And if I don't go on that other side of it, then I don't learn anything. But to learn anything about human beings, I got to go right to the other side of my initial judgment. And I got to go over there and stop protecting myself. And I got to understand them. And I got to look and see how protective this thing is. You know, I don't think we're wired as human beings to connect with each other. I think we're wired to not connect. I think we're wired to judge people, to close down, and to not to connect with them. I think we're wired to figure out what's wrong with people rather than what's right. I think that's how we're wired. To actually just sit there and wait until we figure out why this person is a bad person and then be done with them. And it's a lot different when you require something of yourself to sit there and figure out why someone's good. That's a lot different. And require that of yourself. Love, it doesn't exist right now. You don't get it on a day-to-day thing. Right now, we got too much going on to love. You missed it today. I guarantee you missed it today. I guarantee you missed someone loving someone today because you were busy getting something done. You were busy with your concerns. So what are you going to do? You can't get away from your concerns and you can't even find a time to take a break from them to love someone. So you probably missed it this last week or two, but you'll figure it out. You see, loving people's hard. This connecting thing is hard. Connection is harder than it's ever been. We got our phones. We got all this stuff connecting with people. And first we got to agree. We don't agree, so I'm done with them. Jesus, can't we stop? So I get an honor of this. This is for me an honor. It's this great thing. And by the way, I just drive around kind of lost and like everyone thinks I'm busy. I just come over here and I observe these kids and watch them and listen. And then they teach me about their culture and what their concerns are. And I go, whoa, things are different now. Okay. And I learn and then I drive in my car and think a little more. And, you know, and then I get the luxury of the older kids coming back and telling me about their new concerns and their houses and their new cars. And that's cool. But then these kids are here in this place with these concerns. Then I watch all the families. Then I watch people, everyone's an innocent bystander. That's my favorite. Just so you guys know, in family warfare, the person telling the story is always innocent. Innocent. They behave perfectly. They tell the story. Here are. I just want you to know that yesterday I was behaving perfectly, and just out of the blue, my mom started. What? Yeah, it's every day. So you were behaving perfectly. You didn't do anything. Yes, nothing. Yes, I did nothing to cause this. Okay. Yeah. Told you. So you hate your dad? I hate him. But you want to invite your phone? Yes, I need a phone. I called someone today. I had a girl in the program. I called someone. This girl came in the program and she kind of, in the beginning, she told me all this stuff about parents and how bad they were and, the whole story. And now they get along swimmingly and they're great. They're just doing great as a family. And I had to call that person and say, have you been have they squared up? Have they kind of told you that maybe some of the stuff that they said was going on was a little exaggerated or yeah, they have. I call it a missing reality agreement. Do you know that if we're all sitting in this room and somebody comes in and we said the guy was wearing a brown hat? Well, if we all agreed, then it would be true. That's a reality agreement. We'd have a reality agreement that the guy that came in was wearing a brown hat. But with families, there seems to be a reality agreement that doesn't exist. No, it happened like this. No, it happened like this. No, it happened like this. And there's no reality agreement of how it happened. So where do you go from there? You see, one side says it happens this way, and the other side says it happens this way. It's just what's happening in the world. There's no reality agreement. Somebody comes on the TV, they say, no, this is what's happening. We can't even see why we don't have the budget. There's no reality agreement. It's a new thing where you can just make it not true by saying it's not true. People have learned it. If you say something that's false over and over and over again, it becomes true to some people. So that we have that problem now. So in this cultural timeout, there's no reality agreement. We don't know who did what. Well, my dad grabbed me. Well, nope, they grabbed me. Oh, what happened? Let's see. Okay. So how do you get by if there's no choice? How do you operate this thing? Anyways, questions, comments, talk, whatever, argument. I wish Steffi was here to argue. I wish somebody was here to argue. She didn't ask. I called her. I said, "Do you think I don't like being argued with? I love being argued with." There's only one reason people argue with me. You know what it is? They're wrong. There's only one. Just arguing. That's what I tell Angie, anyways.
Here's a thought.
Yeah.
Parents can't put up boundaries, but the addict can.
Yeah. How so? What do you mean?
For themselves, because they know that when I walked down this road, I fell.
Yeah.
If I walked down this road, I took drugs. It didn't work out so good then.
Yeah.
The matter I better go this way instead of going that.
Yeah.
You know, they put their own boundaries up and say, well, that's a bad path.
Yeah.
Let's go on this path. This
Yeah.
path's a good path. So we can't force it on them, but they need to, stumble themselves enough times to where they can
So you're saying
see the correct path.
change comes from pain.
Yes.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
believe that.
And failure.
I feel as a
Brittany?
parent, I just never wanted to make boundaries with my kids because I would figure it out as things came. I guess because I didn't want to say, oh, I won't do this if you do
Yeah. Yeah.
because the one thing I said is like he wouldn't live with me if he used, and he used. I let him use for about 2 weeks and then I put him out.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was a boundary or if that was just me saying I knew it just wasn't a safe place for us as a family. I don't know, but I've lacked boundaries, I think, all my life. Especially with my children.
I just say it one more time for the cheap seats. When I talk about it, it's only in the form of victimization. This is when I get it. It's when somebody says, I've already been victimized by this certain behavior. And so now I'm going to no longer be victimized by this certain behavior. You see, depending on what, the severity of that behavior, but
Isn't that a choice?
a choice. Oh, good. Let's go. Yeah, okay, okay, so. So there, the question, the thing about this is I'm not saying there isn't choice. Ron, I'm saying you're not choosing. That's what I'm suggesting. And I'm not saying it's true. When I say this, it's a possibility because I don't want to get in the debate, but it's a possibility. And I'm saying if you live the possibility, it's an easier way to live. And I'm glad you brought up because see, your mind makes a choice, correct? Okay. And you observe that choice. Okay. So now what I'm suggesting is if you are observing your mind is thinking thoughts, those thoughts bring choices, tell you what to do, right? Tell you to get out of bed, tell you to go to work, tell you not to go to work, tell you what to eat. I'm saying that's not you. I'm saying you're the observer of that.
All right.
And I'm saying once I move to an observer position, which is the rightful position, in my opinion, the right position would be an observer position. And if I close my eyes, I have a machine that pumps thought. And I don't know what that machine is going to say next.
No. When you get into the observer position, it's actually when you're able to make a choice. So yes, you work on
Okay.
autopilot 99%.
Okay, now.
But once you get into the seat of the soul,
Yes.
I can have a thought that says make my bed, and I can have a thought that says don't make my bed. But once
Got
I'm in that position, the observer position that you're talking about, which I agree with you on that, now actually you're in a position to make a choice.
Okay.
Like Younger just said to me, yeah, we don't have a choice in why we're now we're here. And I agree with him. He hasn't been making choices.
Yeah.
Absolutely agree with you. Agree. He hasn't been making choices. But when he gets to the spot through whatever works for him, meditation or prayer or whatever,
Okay, so apply
then he
that
gets
to.
to the spot where he's observing his thoughts. Now suddenly we have a little space to make a choice.
Good.
Like when we're
Got it.
angry and we're yelling at somebody, we're in that like just fight or flight thing. We're not making a choice.
Okay.
There's no point in getting angry with an angry person
Okay.
because they're not making a choice. Once they get to a point, once you calm down after 24 hours of having an argument with your spouse, where you're both in the observer position, now you can change each other.
Sure.
Come to an agreement.
Sure. I would say it progresses. Okay. It gets better. But now,
It's never perfect
But now-
because we can't. We're not.
why wouldn't
we're
it be
not
perfect?
constantly sitting
Why
in the
wouldn't it be
observer
perfect?
position.
Okay, so you're saying you fall out of it and then you make bad choices.
Yeah. Well, you're not making. No, you don't make. You just don't make choices.
So, but choices are made. You still do things. Okay, I'm suggesting that let me say it like this. If you're in the observer position and you have a thought to do something, what changes the thought?
What do you mean? What changes? Oh, you mean
What would change a thought? What would change a thought wouldn't it be another thought?
knowing that you have another option, right?
But wouldn't it be another thought? Like my thought is to, let's say my thought, I love this,
Yeah.
but listen, I'm not saying anything, I'm saying it's true. I'm saying, look at the possibility of it. I'm saying maybe it's possible. And I'm not saying it because I think anyone's going to operate their life different. I'm saying it because it's going to let you see it in other people. Okay? I'm saying it because if you can see that people do what occurs to them and what occurs from their thoughts, that you can see if that person doesn't open the door for me when I'm walking in the store, then they didn't have the thought to open the door for me when I'm walking in the store. Or they had the thought, but what changed it came behind it another thought. So what changes a thought, what changes a choice would be another choice. And where those come from is beyond us. Okay? So if I have a thought to use drugs and my mind doesn't have another thought, what am I going to do? even if I'm in the observer position.
No, you're not in the observer position.
You think, okay,
But if you agree that they're in the observer position,
Yeah.
you agree that they're choosing.
so where's the control in the observer position? Where's the control if you're just an observer? How do you control it?
You have to have a thought.
Then you are making a choice, and if you make a choice at that point,
Where's the control? Show me the control room of thought.
it's from that observer position. But if the person that didn't open the door for you, they all of a sudden, oh shit, I didn't see you. And now they get to make a choice, they can slam the
So
door.
why, if
and
I
say,
know about
"Oh,
this,
they can open-"
if I know about this observer position and I've sat in it for years and I've been in it most of the time, why do I struggle with food?
Because, like I said, you're not always in the, you're always as a human.
So then why wouldn't I choose to be in the, how come I can't choose to be in the observer position all the time? Then there's no freedom. Then where's the freedom? Then where's the freedom? Isn't it lucky that I'm in the observer position and unlucky when I'm not?
You can choose to practice being in the observer. position.
Okay, so if I could do that,
Over time.
I choose that right now. I want to be in the observer.
Well, then you probably have to give up your wife and your family and go be a monk. And you.
Tried that, didn't work.
This is a great topic. It's a great topic. I've pondered it for years. And I ponder it when it pertains to human behavior, and I ponder it when it pertains to my own. And I am sitting right now here talking to you in the observer position. But also, what the words that I'm saying to you don't come from me. I'm not choosing these words. They're coming from a place that I don't know. I'm just asking people to take a look. You see? And if I make a good choice today, and the choice to, if it doesn't occur to me to do something nice for my wife, then I might not do nothing nice for my wife. But it's very fortunate when it does occur for me to do something for my wife, because I get a good validation. So, I don't know where it is. And then I only talk about it to say, well, if I believe that my choices are better than other human beings, that's a very arrogant way to be, in my opinion. And in my opinion, if I do have total freedom of choice, then I would choose perfection.
Doesn't
You
it
don't-
practice
you
though,
don't.
to create momentum and to create habit?
Uh-huh.
Practice.
Yeah.
And so when you constantly practice making good choices, then it becomes habitual. And so at that point, then you maybe aren't making a choice, and then it's just free flowing, and it's just something that just naturally happens.
Maybe.
So if you want to naturally just eat shitload, then it's just gonna happen. But if you practice not eating a lot of food or shitty food, then you're probably that practice is gonna hold true to you, and you're gonna actually like take pride in what you're becoming and how you're evolving. And then at that point, and that's kind of who you are, and that creates the makeup
Yeah.
of your brain, of your being.
I'm not also saying here that change doesn't occur. I'm saying, and I'm not even saying what you're saying is not true. I've been practicing for years. I understand. I've had a meditation teacher. I've practiced for years. I just don't always know if I'm doing it. I don't know if I'm doing it or if it's happening to me. And I don't know if I'm fortunate or unfortunate. And I don't know anymore.
But that's a
And
good place to be, because
and-
that's a place of not judgment.
That's well, and then all of it, I don't know. I'm just telling you, I don't know. So if it works that way, I just don't understand how we can't teach humans how to change. So I don't know why you couldn't just take a human and go, this is exactly how you change, just do it like I do it, and then the human would just do it that way. I think everyone's selling change, but they got 10 areas of their life that they're not very good in. And they got one area that they excelled in, so they get out on the stage and tell everybody how to excel.
Today's society, though, like there's so many opportunity and there's so much freedom. Because say 50, 60 years ago, you just eating,
Yeah.
right? Like there was no option.
Yeah.
It was either the highway or this way. I mean, that's the way it was. Now there's just so much freedom, so there's so
Yeah.
many options to do whatever it is that we wanna do.
But there's also so much outside influence in your life.
Absolutely.
You know, I like the thought of, having this control and this peace in your life. But when you're trying to run that in your life and you got 50 people on the outside saying, you don't have to listen to them.
Oh,
That sounds really nice. So I hear what you guys are all saying, but sometimes it's a juggling act. And I think that's, you can look for that road and you just got to remember that you got to keep, this might not be the right word for it, but you got to keep fighting for it because the perfect road doesn't exist.
Yeah.
yeah.
It does. There's no perfect method.
Oh, absolutely.
And that's what we've been here for a long time and it's kind of wrapping around it that it's ever evolving and ever changing and
I think
you can get better at it. I believe that, but you can get kicked really hard and fall right off that horse. Believe me.
I think there's a lot of low hanging fruit that when you first become an observer of yourself, there is rapid growth. I don't generally know what, but there's just something to be said for if I want, and I want all these kids in the program to change their focus from what's going on externally to what's going on internally. And I do want that. And I hope it occurs to them to do that. And that's what we try to make it occur to them to do, to actually become an observer of yourself. And when you do that, yes, there's rapid growth automatically, because what you want to change, you've got to take a look at. So if that happens, fortunately for people, and they begin to observe themselves more time than they're observing the outside world and reacting to it, but more time spent looking, and a lot of us have been through that process. I've been through that process. When I learned about becoming an observer myself, I was like, whoa, this is incredible. And it provided for a lot of low-hanging fruit. It is almost as if we're saying, hey, today, if what I want you to do is I want you to turn a little GoPro on yourself. And I'd love this for the kids. I would love them to put a GoPro on themselves. And then I say, tonight, 10 million people are going to watch your behavior today on the news. You would be goddamn embarrassed. The next day, your behavior would change. You'd say, I don't want to say stupid shit like that. I don't want to look like that. I don't want to behave. That's not the person I want to be. So that automatically, when we turn the camera on ourselves, boom. There is going to be growth. Okay? I'm not saying that's not true. There's low-hanging fruit. That's all. I also don't know how to teach that. If that is something that you do and it occurs to you to do, I hope that's true. But how do I demand it? How do we do it? Maybe that's not their concerns right now. I don't think they should call it Maslow's hierarchy of needs anymore because nobody needs. The needs are met. Nobody's climbing the ladder. It's Maslow's hierarchy of concerns. That's what it is. I can go on TikTok and get validated. I don't have any money and I'm on EBT and I live with my parents, but I can say some witty shit and I can get respected by the community. See, you youngsters, we didn't have it like that. When you went to the bar and said, I don't have no money and I live with my parents, the girls ran. Now you get on the site and say, I live with my parents, I don't have any money. And they go, you're cute. That shit's nuts. We had to go out and earn it. And you came to the bar with nothing, like you live in your parents' basement. You had to make a lie up. You had to go to her house that night. Now it's just beep, beep, beep. This girl's coming over to meet me at the sober house. What? That's nuts. The conversation here is to be alive. I tell you, I live most of my life right now as a student. I'm a student of this organism that's growing here in this whole community, and I don't have nothing to say about it. I let it do what it does. I watch it, and it teaches me, and then I get to posture with it and see how we help it. And it's fun. And it's enjoyable to learn. What is that?
Sorry.
It's funny though. Human beings don't like to think that it's a and I don't even, I'm saying we don't even like to think it's a possibility that we're not choosing everything. I'm just saying it's a possibility. I'm just saying it's a possibility that there is choice, but you've never done it. I'm just saying it's a possibility. People hate that. They get mad at me for it. Don't say that's a possibility. I'm choosing everything. I don't know. I'm telling you, I've been sitting here and even in the observer position, pizza, pizza, pizza. I'm observing it. I don't want to have pizza. Some part of me, dude, stop me. You've never been there? And you're drawing up another part. Please, some part of me, stop me. I don't want to do this today. And I don't have the control. If you have it, teach me. But don't go home and yell at your husband or wife. Make sure that you stay in the observer position and get along perfectly. If I could teach it, I'd be flawless. But there's times where I'm fortunate and I do make good choices and I'm very fortunate. And I'm proud of myself. And then there's times I yell at my wife, or not yell at her. I don't ever yell at her. But I make snide remarks. I get sarcastic. I get petty. There's times I want to do more and I can't. There's times I want to be a better helper, a better father, a better husband, and I can't get it done. And I feel bad inside when I can't get it done. I want to be a better friend. I want to be a better connector. I want to be better at everything, but I'm not. So what do? You see? We try to figure out why everyone's good. And we see where they're at with their concerns and their place in life. And we try to get in there with them and connect because we could lose them. And we don't want that regret. So we just try our best to get on the other side of this judgment, our superiority, our anger, our righteousness. And I'm not there. I'm just saying I'm trying. And I'm just saying it's a possibility. That's all. It's a possibility that my son is going to be 13 years old and he's going to be in a car and his friends are going to ask him to try to smoke weed. And I don't know what's going to occur to that little boy to do. I don't know. I don't know how to prep him for that. I can tell him drugs are bad, 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 drugs are bad. But what is the pressure that he's facing right there in that car? Are those kids going to put that pressure on him? And is it going to fall to that pressure? Or is my son going to get out of the car and say, I don't want this, and lose his friends? Is it going to occur to him to not do that, or is he going to do that? And I'm telling you that either way, I can't be mad at him. Either way, he's going to do what occurs to him. And that'll bring me some compassion. So I don't know what age I'm going to start getting mad at him. Probably going to happen though. But it'll be because I forgot. I forgot that he's doing what occurs to him in the same way I do what occurs to me. It's just a possibility. Yes.
One of the tools I use when I was raising the kids is in the 5, 3, 5. They're making 5/18 of their choices. And so you give them the tools in the toolbox and you build them up. And you reward them and praise them for the good choices. And you help them understand that the other choices may have other consequences.
Mm-hmm.
And so you just grow that process at 13. And maybe making 13/18 of their choices.
So would you say that you were programming them?
Yes.
Yes. So you would say that if at 18, the result of where they're at would be good programming.
The result of where they're at is they've just got tools to make choices and understand the consequences.
So you're helping it occur differently for them.
That was the plan.
Yeah. I know. There it is. That's what we can do for each other. We can help it occur differently. I don't know.
In recovery, I would say it's similar, that in year one of recovery, you're gonna be making certain amount of choices and concerns are gonna be at the one level we described.
Yeah.
And in year four, the new concerns are gonna be that growing, glowing life.
That's where you want to move. We want to move those. And I'm not saying, guys, I totally agree with you. Lisa, I agree that if there is freedom, it comes from that position. And that when we get there, we're now no longer a robot. I agree. And when we're up there, it puts light on all of this. And when we're not up there, you see, today, maybe you missed it. Today, do you remember a time today where you were observing yourself? Where you were questioning yourself? Whether you were up there. And I'm telling you, if today you didn't do that, you missed it. You were robotic. You were a slave to it. So maybe without getting to that position, without waking up, we become a slave to it. And we're not connecting with each other because we're not even there. We're droning on with the business of life and the petty pace that it goes. You see? So there's that moment when we go, oh, wait. Where am I? And then we're there again. That moment when you drive past the exit and realize you just drove past the exit. That's the moment you're back. The moment you realize you weren't present, you're present again. So waking up, it's part of this, of course. You kids, not watching yourself. You're in big trouble. And not taking on the people that are watching you. We get a group here, we call it client group. We like to put them in the room together and have them, just fight. Basically it's what it turns into. You eat too much, you shower too long, you take all the hot water, you don't clean up after yourself. They don't like that criticism. So when somebody tells you all to get better, you tell them how they should get better. Don't tell me I should get better in any way. I'll tell you how you suck. Listen, guys, the world is always telling us how to get better. You should listen. It's okay. Today, there'll be people that didn't like this and people that liked it. To the people who don't like it, I'll do better. Give me another chance. That's it. Wait and listen. You see? But I'm here to get better. I'm here to learn. I'm here to grow. Here to learn to connect. Anyone else?
I think having like some grace, the seat of the observer is also. Yeah, it sounds great if we could always sit in that seat, but it's also really uncomfortable to sit in that seat. It's easier to be on autopilot. So
Yeah.
just having like grace for that.
Yeah.
Putting the GoPro on yourself. Nobody would do that.
No.
Do you have a choice?
See, I'm aware that I'm aware. That's like standing on a pinhead. How long can you be aware that you're aware? About 2 seconds. Then you're unaware again. Oh, thank you guys.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Just another night in the conversation. It is what it is. Learn from it, grow. Thank you for being here.
See you moms in the morning at 11 a.m. Good night.